House Republicans have rejected a bipartisan Senate deal to extend the payroll tax holiday as well as unemployment benefits for 2 more months. So that means unless the two chambers reach a deal in the next 2 weeks, your taxes will rise come January 1st. Our chief Washington correspondent Peter Cook is on Capitol Hill with reaction from the number 2 House Democrat. Peter?
That's right, Scarlett. We heard from the number 2 House Republican a moment ago. Now we have Steny Hoyer, the Democrat from Maryland, number 2 Democrat in the House. Let me ask you the same question I put to Leader Cantor. Where do we go from here? They just rejected the Senate bipartisan deal. Does this get resolved?
Well, Peter, we have a motion to instruct on the table right now that's being considered and debated. And what we've said is, look, take this, which is a guaranteed 60-day extension for middle-class taxpayers if they'll get a cut. Take this and ensure seniors that they'll have availability of their doctors in Medicare. Take this and give confidence to people that are on unemployment that it will continue after January 1. Then proceed, as we so often do. You've watched the Congress. We can't reach an agreement. We have a short-term extension. That's what this is. And then we continue to sit down looking for that 1-year extension that we all believe is necessary. Although I will tell you this, Speaker Boehner 6 months ago said that a 1-year extension was just a short-term gimmick. Now, he agreed with the Senate's resolution of this issue until he disagreed with the Senate's resolution. He was in contact with John McCain, and what they did was after the House bill went over there and they wouldn't allow it to go on the floor, they came to an agreement. 89 of them. 90% of the Senate came to an agreement. 83% of the Republican members, all their leadership, 90% of the Democrats, all their leadership said, look, here is a way forward to guarantee in the short term that the tax cut will not disappear, that Medicare reimbursement will be appropriate, and that unemployment insurance will not be withdrawn for those who need it so much.
But you all must be feeling some pressure at this point, given what just happened on the House floor, for the Senate Democrats to at least come back and have this negotiation. Can you guarantee us that Harry Reid and his colleagues aren't going to come back to have this negotiation?
Look, I understand that Mr. Boehner has written a letter to the president urging him to urge Harry to come back. Very frankly, Senator Reid worked with Speaker Boehner. Speaker Boehner said, look, you guys work it out. I'm okay. He was okay. He came back to his caucus, and the Tea Party faction in his caucus said, oh, no, we don't want to agree with the Senate. Notwithstanding the fact the overwhelming majority of Republican senators agreed with this outcome. So I'm sure that the issue is going to be, okay, Mr. Boehner, what can you agree to? They sent a bill, the bill they're now talking about going to conference with, that was designed to fail. They knew that it could not pass the Senate. Proof of that is it wasn't brought up on the floor of the Senate because of a Republican objection. And guess what? The Senate compromise, they wouldn't bring up on our floor today. Why? They're afraid it would pass. They're afraid that they would lose a number of their members because it is a reasonable way forward and provides certainty, a guarantee that those items that we all say are important will in fact continue to be in place.
Do you think there's still a possibility that you all can agree on a 12-month extension, whether it happens right away or even in January, that's paid for, both sides can agree to?
I certainly hope so. We're for that. And this gives us some time to do exactly that. But as you know, Senator McCain and Senator Reid and others negotiated for some weeks to try to get to that end. They weren't successful. So what they did is the reasonable thing to do. Say, look, we don't want the middle-class tax cut to go away for 160 million people. We don't want 48 million seniors put at risk of having access to their doctors. And we certainly don't want to have people who are unemployed, who need money to support themselves, to survive. We don't want that to go out of existence. So for all those reasons, what we're going to do is a short-term extension while we do exactly what Speaker Boehner is asking to do, and that is talk about can we reach a compromise. Again, I reiterate, Senator Reid thought, based upon Speaker Boehner's representation, that if they reached a deal, he was okay with it. On Saturday, he said he was okay with it until he talked to his conference. And his conference, unfortunately, in my opinion, continuing what I call the gridlock creators. We talk about job creators. The gridlock creators are saying, oh, no, we're not going to take an agreement supported by 90% of the Senate, which will guarantee, which will create certainty, not for the long term. We want the long term, but will create the certainty that we're all talking about.
All right. He's the number 2 Democrat in the House. Steny Hoyer, appreciate the time as always. Scarlett, not a clear resolution, at least at this moment, here on Capitol Hill.
All right, thank you so much, Peter Cook on Capitol Hill.